So, you just got into Le Mans Ultimate and you're probably realizing this game doesn't really tell you anything. There's no tutorial, no setup guide, nothing. Don't worry, I've got you. Today I'm going over a bunch of beginner tips that will make your life a lot easier in Le Mans Ultimate. These are things the game never explains, but once you know them, you will start every race smoother, brake harder and probably avoid at least one embarrassing pit lane penalty. Oh, exited on the pits. While talking about embarrassing pit lane moments, let's talk about something that sounds super basic but actually makes a big difference. The pit limiter. If you haven't bound it yet, do it. Seriously, do it. In Le Mans Ultimate, the pit limiter isn't just for the pit lane, it's also part of how you manage your race starts. In most sims like ACC, you've got two different speed limits. The pit lane is 50 km an hour and the rolling start is 70, so you only really use the pit limiter in the pits. But Le Mans Ultimate plays by its own rules. Here both the pit lane and rolling start speed limits are the same, 60 km an hour. That means your pit limiter actually helps with both. Here's why that's important. When you are lining up for a rolling start, you can just hold full throttle with the limiter on. It will keep your car perfectly kept at 60 km an hour. And the second the race goes green, tap that button, limiter off and you blast away. You will nail a clean, consistent start every time without worrying about creeping over the speed limit. And you will avoid those nasty drive-thrus. And of course, it's still a lifesaver in the pits. Overspeeding on entry can give you a time penalty, which can ruin your race, especially in endurance events. For the pit entry, it's fastest to brake hard at your brake marker and immediately hit the pit limiter. This way, when you accelerate again for the pits, you won't be over the pit speed limit. So yeah, this little button is doing double duty. Saves you time at the start, saves you penalties in the pits. My advice, bind it to something easy to reach, like near your thumb. You want to hit it fast without taking your eyes off the track. Do you also see everyone asking for fuel in the in-game chat? Well, did you know that you can actually see the amount of predicted laps just before the race start, when the announcer calls for
teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
You can click drive and see the amount of predicted laps in the right top corner. Go back to the garage and adjust the fuel to the predicted amount of laps +1 and you will always be safe for your pit stop plus races. The default electronic settings in LMU are atrocious for the GT3 cars, so it's important that you change these for the fixed setup daily races. This way you can have an advantage over your competition. For a start, use ABS 6 or 9 in all GT3 cars. This is currently by far the best ABS setting. 3 can be tricky, but you can also try this one in mid-engine cars. With these ABS settings, you can throw the brake balance extremely far to the rear of the car. In the BMW I use +21 clicks for example, so 46-54 as brake balance. This way you can trail brake way better in this car. In other cars you can start with +10 clicks and see how it feels. If it is too oversteery under braking, put some clicks less, and if you think you can handle more, do a few clicks more. DC you can also set lower. You can use these settings as a baseline for most GT3 cars and tweak from there. If it is too uncontrollable, you can put a few clicks more on every setting. This is the default camera setting for in the BMW M4 GT3. And this is the default camera setting for the LMP2 car.
Oh, what the fuck?
You can't see anything with these view settings. These are my camera settings. So how did I do this? Go into settings, controls, camera and look for the adjust seat bindings. And bind these 4 buttons on your keyboard. I have them on my numpad, but you can of course choose what key bindings you like. After you've chosen your key bindings, you can go in your car of choice you want to change the camera settings for and adjust it. I like the camera all the way to the front for maximum visibility and up a bit, so you can see better into the corner. Wow! For some people it's important that they still see all the information that is on the display of the car. Bonus tip. This is something I myself don't use, but when you drive a prototype car or have a race in the rain, the visibility can be quite bad. You can go into the hood view cam and you will have way better visibility. In my opinion, this ruins the experience and immersion, so that's why I don't like to use it. I like the feeling like I'm actually in the car and not playing Gran Turismo. Alright, picture this. You've just finished qualifying, you've absolutely nailed it. Easy podium, right? Well, not so fast. Because here's the thing. If you don't change your tires before the race, you're actually starting on the same worn out tires you used in qualifying. So before every race, make sure to select a fresh tire set in the setup menu. LMU doesn't automatically give you new tires. You have to choose them manually. It's one of those little details that can completely ruin your race if you forget it. So get in the habit before you click race. Check your fuel, check your setup, and always double check your tires. LMU has currently many force feedback issues, where suddenly all the force feedback is gone. I've had this happen just before a race starts. I alt-tabbed and all the force feedback was gone. I desperately tried alt-tabbing back and forth, but no luck. So I had to drive the whole race without force feedback. Luckily for us, the devs have a band-aid for this problem, and you can bind a button to reset your force feedback. I have it set to 1 on my keyboard, but you can choose whatever you want. So next time you have any force feedback issues, press this button and hopefully the issue will be gone. So here's another interesting one. A viewer in one of my live streams actually pointed this out, and it's a really good catch. Not all of the cars in Le Mans Ultimate have their brake force set to 100% by default. Now in cars without ABS, lowering the brake force can help with control. It stops you from locking up as easily. But even in the hypercar class and LMP2 class, most people drive with 100% brake force. But in GT3s, you've got a really advanced ABS system doing that job for you. So there's no reason to limit yourself. In fact, keeping it below 100% actually hurts your braking performance just a little bit. You're basically leaving stopping power on the table. And here's the cool part, this isn't just for custom setups. You can change this even in the daily races with fixed setup. 90%! And you can set it to 100. So before your next race, hop into the setup screen and make sure that brake force is set to 100%. It's a small tweak, but it will make your braking more consistent.